Hey guys, welcome back to Experimental RC. Today we're going to be building the latest tiny whip airplane that I have sitting on the bench right there that I just built. It is awesome. So if you want to get all your electronics, get it down below. I'll have the links in the description. I'll also have the STL files as well down below. So yeah, stay tuned and hope you enjoy the build. We're going to be building this awesome brushed tiny whip airplane with FPV, OSD, and everything in between. This is a awesome thing to fly around in your backyard, and even you can fly this in a pretty decent sized indoor area as well. So stay tuned, and thank you for Newbeedrone for supporting this build. We're gonna go over the electronics real quick and all the hardware that you need, and then we'll go ahead and get to building. So first of all, you need a screwdriver. Okay, so you need a screwdriver to screw down the electronics inside of it. Now, cool thing is, this right here is going to be running off of a brushed system, brushed power system. So we're going to be using the plaid motors from Newbeedrone. These are the motors that we're going to be using. For the electronics, we're going to be using the B-Brain Lite B2. This right here is a awesome combo to put in here because it's pretty much one of the most compact systems ever. It houses your VTX, your camera system, your pretty much everything in it. Flight controller, everything. And you can see it's a little messed up, like the gummies right there. I've already opened it. I've actually already built this one. I just put everything back in the box as if I was opening up for the first build. You're going to need your 3D print. As you can see, this is definitely beat up. This one is 100% beat up. Hot glue everywhere. Heated up around there. This right here, I've been flying this one for the past few weeks now. Getting it perfect for you guys. So hopefully you like it. For the battery, we're going to be using the Newbeedrone Nitro Nectar Gold batteries. These right here are so cool because they don't have much sag when it gets really low power. And also, they hold power. It sounds weird. They hold power better than most batteries that I've flown. But yeah, I've flown many tiny whip batteries with this setup, and this right here is so far the best one. We're going to be using the Newbeedrone Azzy props, or hopefully I said that right. These are 3-bladed props. Really cool, stylish looking props. These are 3-bladed, as I just said. And then you're going to need 3 screws. Now, so the flight control and everything do come with screws, but they're just too short. So I just went around. I'm pretty sure if you are in the RC hobby, you probably just have some screws laying around. I just found these right here. They work perfect, and that's what I'm using for the build. So yeah, that's pretty much it with those. So let's go ahead and unbox or uncase everything and see what you need out of everything else. Okay, so first off, we're going to go ahead and go to the electronic side. So just go ahead and open up your little casing right here. So this right there is, so it comes a lot better packed. I just stuck it in there just for a quick little demonstration of taking everything out. I don't want to yank on that wire, so I'm just going to lift it up a bit. Okay, so there, I don't want to pull on that wire too much. So it does come with a lot more hardware than this. It's just, I had the hardware right here. I just put everything that you really need in there. So this is pretty much it. That's all the electronics. As you can see, there's a piece of grass right there, or a piece of leaf or something. So yeah. As again, it does not come with some leaves on your board, but it has this really nice long power cable, which I'll show you why this is needed later on. But with the new design, you need a long power cable, and with other boards, you have to solder on. You can solder on a long connector, or you have to make some extensions, but this connector is just perfect. And also, again, I said there's FPV and a VTX on here. There's the FPV camera, and it has this nice little housing right here that holds the camera in place. And then on the bottom, there is the VTX right here. And also you have like a little UFL, let me get this in frame, a little UFL right here, so you can actually change this antenna out, but I would not recommend it because lighter the better. So this right here is pretty much the lightest you can get. And see this little tiny little antenna right here for your receiver, right there. It actually comes with another one in the box. There it is. See that little string down there? Another one, just in case you rip it off, I believe, and it just looks like it just solders on. So yeah, that's a good little combo. And then with the motors, you're gonna, so this is kind of cool. So there's a lot of redundancy in this build. If I can even open this up, I'm not even able to open up. Okay guys, thanks for watching. See you later. Okay, the video is gonna be long today. Okay, so if I can even get these motors out, I might not be able to get the motors out in the video. So that's why you have a screwdriver, everybody. You can just, screwdriver is not just used for screwing stuff in. So these are the motors. Comes with these little motors right here. As you can see, there's pretty much grass on everything in this build, just saying. So you're gonna need a motor with blue, red and blue wire, and you're gonna need one with a white and black. Now, oh my god, they come with 4 motors. What do I do with these? Keep these, okay? You're gonna want to have these. Don't do anything with them. I recommend just putting them back in this nice little case because it's really strong and nothing will mess them up or anything like that. So just keep these. If these motors burn out, you can replace them. You have 1 motor for each side, so you can replace them if they burn out or pretty much do anything. You can replace them. So that's pretty good. So you already have an extra set of motors just with the first time you actually build it. You already have an extra set. That's kind of cool. So you just keep those on the side, and now you're gonna have the electronics right here. Now, next, what you're gonna want to go ahead and pick up is the frame. Now, this is printed with TPU. It is a upgraded frame from the last one. Here is the last frame that I built. This right here was actually a brushless setup. There's a few complaints. I actually sent this file out to a few people before I posted on Thingiverse, which it is on Thingiverse right now. I'll put it, or actually not this exact one. Let me rephrase that. It's actually a different one that I got a few, actually a cool designer. He helped me with it, and it's on Thingiverse right now, a brushless version. But this right here was the first brushless version. Ooh, I can't even speak. Phew. Okay, let me slow down. This was the first brushless version, and as you can see, it's really flexible. And I found out that as I sent it to the file to a few people, they had the same issue when they added throttle. It was to bend too much, sometimes hit the foam and things like that. And you had a separate battery holder, which one on the top, which I don't really like that design, so I designed this one, which has the battery on the back. So you just, all you need is this, you don't need anything else, which is cool. So let's go ahead and get started on the build. So what you're gonna go ahead and do is, I recommend getting your screws and go ahead and put the screw in the little holes. I'm just gonna do it just for demonstration purposes, but I already did it. Just screw in and screw out each hole, these 3. Just so when you're going ahead and building it, you don't have to do it while the board's in the way and everything like that. And you don't have to worry about hitting the board. So, now, which motor goes where? There's different colors. So, you're going to be, so the front of the craft is this way. The battery socket thing is on the back. So, as you can see, it's just a bit bent. That's from flying it so much. And I was heating something up earlier with my heat gun, and I didn't know this was in front of it, and it kind of bent it a little bit. So yeah, but it still flies, so that's all that counts. So you're gonna get your, so if you look in, this is the front of the craft, so this is the right and the left of the craft. So the left has the red and blue, and the right has the white and black. So cool thing is, not like the brushless where you had to do screws. You literally, it's just friction fit. It just slides nice and neat into the motors socket things, and then you are set. I like to push them. So let me actually do this backwards. So I like to keep just a little bit. I gotta keep it in frame. I gotta keep in frame. I don't even know why I said that twice. So a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side. That's good. I prefer to actually push them all the way till they're flush with the back, and just because it gives a little bit more slack on the wires, so if you do in the event of a crash, you don't really yank the wires out of the board, it gives it a little bit of slack, but not much. So that's why I'm going to show you a way to position it on the airframe that helps this stay good. So now you're going to go ahead and get your board. Now you're going to have the USB port, this nice little gold USB port pointed on the back of the craft. So you're going to go ahead and plug it up. We're going to see that there's, let me get this little antenna out of the way. I usually put it in the middle, so that's why it's on there. So you see this little arrow? That's how you know that's the front of the board. So, and if you, let's say you take your camera off, you don't know which way is the front part of the board for the camera is the port where the port is for the battery. So if you were to take this off, which it can come off, as you can see, it has these little pins that slide in and slide out, which is kind of cool. You just can slide that in and slide that out. If you want to know which way the VTX goes, the port goes at the front of the board. So now let's go ahead and sit this down like that. So we're going to go ahead and plug them up. You're going to plug it up to the front ports. So that's the front of the board. That's the front of the board. We're going to go ahead and plug it into the front ports, which the front ports right there. Okay. And you're going to get this one right. Okay. Now, be gentle with these connectors because you do not want to break them. Let's get this little piece of grass because I don't like that right there. Okay. So I like to also get this little antenna. It's probably definitely going to reduce reception, but you're not going to be flying this long range. So put this in there so it won't get chopped up. And now, so you might be thinking, well, okay, you're going to have a lot of touching back here where the battery's at when you put the board down. So what you're going to want to do is, first of all, these lines right here, make sure they're coming from the back of the little like 3D printed standoff thing. So make sure they're coming from the back, so they're going to be right here. You want it coming from the back. They just create as much slack as possible with the lines. So now what you're going to want to go and do, as you can see, there's hardly no slack in this one. So it might even be a bit better. Yeah, so put them from the front this time. Apparently they're good on the front. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is put a little rubber gummy, which is supplied in the kit thing. So we're going to get a rubber gummy right here. They come in here with the board. So they actually come with 4 of them, but you only need 2. Okay, let me get that little thing out. Oh crap. I was trying to get nothing to come out, but okay. And the little antenna. Oh god. And the little antenna. Okay, so 2 little rubber gummies, and you're just gonna put them between the board. Just right here, just gonna slide them in the board. You could have just done this before you put it in here, but I like to make things difficult. So let me just take this top piece off. Okay. So you're going to put these little rubber gummies right into here. Right between the board, just like you're building a regular quad. And voila. You put the little things right there. And you get your little antenna. Put your antenna down there. It's probably the most time-consuming part, putting the antenna back. So let's just put that right there. Okay, so now I'm not worried about that antenna anymore. Let's make sure these little rubber gummies in there, and then put that on top. And now go ahead and put your screws in. Your screws, mate. So there's your screws. And on the side, so at the screws you only need 3, so you're going to be putting 1 on each side and 1 in the front, if you didn't tell already. So there is a good and a bad about putting just 3, but there's more good than bad, so that really all that counts. So let's go through some like pluses just putting 3. Number 1, when you put the camera down level, you have a little bit of a camera tilt because it's made for a quad. So if you, my hand's probably all in that shot. Okay, so if you put the just the front, if you just screw the front down and not the back, it's going to be, of course, tilted forward a bit. So when it's tilted forward, you're going to get a better camera angle while you're flying FPV. And screw it down. So what I like to do, I don't like to screw them down all the way, but they're pretty much all the way screwed down anyways. So yeah, and let's get the last screw and screw it into the front. Now my last little screw right here is it's way too big, so I actually had to thread this little hole right here just so it will go in. Oh my god. This is probably the only part that's going to stop me in this build right here. Watch. Oh, we got something going. Okay. We are not going to stop. So, now we're just going to put that right there. And just screw it in. Now, I don't use a standoff in the front because you want that front piece to be as down as possible. And to be honest, you don't really need standoffs. The only reason I put standoffs on the side is so it will lift it up a bit. And that is why, so the USB port won't touch the back. Actually, nothing touches the back. So the ports in the back or anything does not touch the battery port. And since it's made out of TPU, you can bend it. So you can pretty much bend this little piece out of the way. Let me try to find the USB cable. Here's one right here. So you can push this little TPU piece out of the way, like this, like so, and plug in your cable. Oh, that's backwards. Just like that. So yeah, it gets out of the way. So that's cool. My last design was so stupid. You had to unscrew everything just to get to the thing to edit it, or not edit it, but tune it. So you're pretty much almost done. Now you're gonna get your props. Now with the props, you need one clockwise, one counterclockwise. It comes with 4 props in a bag. I just went ahead and put 2 in there so I could pour them out and not worrying about having to put the other 2 in the bag. So you got these 2 props. You're like, where do I put these? What do I do with these? They're both different directions. The red, you want them both spinning outwards. So you want them spinning like this, outwards. The top is going out. So it's gonna go just like that. And if you're thinking how do you know what prop goes which and where's the front and the back? Because if you look at these props, let me get in the camera. If you look at these props, there's a hole on both sides. But if you look at them from the good side, you'd actually see like a little airfoil shape, and that's how you know it's the front. And also, if you look at the bottom, it's kind of flat more than the top because he has curve at the front. That's how you know that's the top or the front. So you're just gonna put these props on, voila, and voila. Put these props on. My props are really bent up from flying the past like 2 weeks, but there they are. Now, as you can see, this, if you put it down, these motors are really not aligned. Don't ask me how it flies. But wait a minute. Let me get a lighter real quick. Don't try this at home. If you do, don't do it with the wires right there. Let's heat this up a bit, and the props also. This is the dumbest thing ever. Okay, let me just bend that forward a bit. I could have just done this a long time ago. Okay, it's better. It's better. Okay, so you're pretty much done. Now you're gonna get your battery, which is voila, this battery. You're gonna get it right here, and you're gonna just slide it in the back, and it just slides nicely in the back. And this is where the long power cable comes handy. So the last board I was using, this is I'm not 100% sure what board this was, but anyways, it's pretty much done for now. It won't connect back to the computer whatsoever. I don't know why, but this is the power cord that it comes with, right? If you put it right here, look at that. It barely can reach just beside it. But look at this power cord. Look how much longer it is. It's just awesome. So, yeah, let's just plug this in. I keep forgetting it's not brushless, so it don't make that din sound. So let's go ahead and turn on my transmitter. It's probably going to be on low battery, but who cares? Oh god, 6.7 volts. It's about to start screaming. Okay, so one cool thing about the Newbeedrone board is, see, there's no light on it whatsoever but the front light. If I arm it, which it's armed now, not like a regular quad where you have air mode. You want air mode off on this. But when you flip the switch, it turns green. So it's a nice little way telling you, hey, if you give power, I can cut your finger up. So yeah, it's really nice. And also, if you happen to lose connection, I turn my transmitter off. As you can see, my transmitter is off. It flashes, which is cool. So you know you can find it in a tree somewhere. So yeah, and also this antenna, you might be thinking, well, what is this? This is gonna go right in that prop and go chop, or in this prop and go chop. You come right here and go click, and it clicks right into the top of the camera, and then voila, it is nice and out of the way. And also, in the event of a crash, one cool thing about this is if you crash, it goes whoop, it just falls out. So yeah, it doesn't get like all, like, it's not just sitting there like, what is the word for it? What is that word? Let's just say it's just not, oh, here it is. It's not 100% fixed to the top of the camera. So if you do crash, it's not going to just always bend at that point and break. So it just comes off, and then it just pretty much goes all the way down to the connection point. And there's also some nice little like glue or something there, so you don't got to worry about it ever getting unplugged. Because plugging in a VTX with no antenna is a big no-no. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, so if you want to look around, this is what mine kind of looks like. There's the back of it, there's the side, there's the front, there's the other side, there's the bottom, there's the top. So if you put the front all the way down, like it's going to be mounted, so you might be thinking, well, the board's slanted. When you put it all the way flat, the board's going to be slanted down. That helps you in two different ways. Number one, you don't need the board to be level because you turn the accelerometer off. It's not going to be doing anything. And number two, if you think about it, so this is pretty much a quad. So if you get your little whoop or something like that, so if you push the front of the quad down, the gyro is going to speed up these two front motors. So the quad's thinking that this is still a quad, so it's thinking, hey, the front of the drone's pointed downwards, I need to give more power. So it's just going to give more power to the two front ports, which these are connected to, and you're going to get a lot more power coming out of your board. And also, when you are flying, so when you are flying, if you pull your stick back like this while you're flying, you're going to actually get a lot more power because it's thinking it's still a drone. So when you pull back on your stick, what happens? It goes like this. It adds more power to the front. These are connected to the front ports. So when you pull back, it's just going to go yeet and go up. So it's going to add more power. And this is a tiny whip for scale right beside it. This is a little 65mm tiny whip compared to it. It's actually a lot, really, really tiny. Same board, same everything. Right there. This is definitely my favorite. It's actually my first brushed. I can't say favorite because I've never tried it, but it's my first brushed tiny whip, which is kind of cool. Also, again, big thanks to Newbeedrone for supporting this video. They sent me all these awesome electronics, which I now see my last tiny whip plane and see exactly why these electronics are a lot better. I've pretty much bashed this thing around so much, nothing's happened to it. My last board just stopped working for some reason. I don't know why. So, and that's only been about a week of flying on this one. I already got at least 2 weeks on this one. So, yeah, that's pretty good. And also, you can't beat it. You got a brush setup, which it's definitely going to take up some power, but you also have FPV on it, and you have your OSD, and OSD means on-screen display, and on-screen display means you can see your battery voltage. So, that's good. So, while you're flying, you can see your battery voltage. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, here's some DVR of it flying, and, yeah, Bye guys. Happy flying.